our last lesson together, Vanilda. What's new for you? Has there
Teacher,
been for you
are
anything
you
that's
asking
been
about
happening?
the last lesson? Yes.
Since last lesson, since the last time we spoke together, has there been anything new for you? Anything that's been happening for you since last
No,
time?
during the week.
Yes, during the week. What's been happening for you during the week that's
Yes.
interesting that you would like talk about so that we can have a little bit of conversational English, Vanessa?
Okay, teacher. Hi, teacher. Uh, during the week, I'm in holidays, and but
Yes.
I'm staying at home. But on Sunday, I went to the beach. Beach.
Oh, you went to the beach on Sunday. Ah, that's
Yeah,
nice. Oh,
I live near the beach,
uh-huh.
but there were many people
Yes.
uh, without masks. So
Without masks. Many people without
yeah,
masks. Oh no, that's
many
terrible.
people.
Sorry to hear that.
The major wasn't to use masks. So
Mm.
I don't know. I don't know if I was wrong and they are right about this. Because in my country we have about 1,000, more than 1,000 deaths
Oh, that's terrible.
per day
Per day. Oh, that's
per
awful.
day.
Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that.
It's horrible,
It's really
but
bad. Yeah.
they are open. They open the the activities.
Yes.
So restaurants
Ah, so
open.
they've opened the restaurants again, so everything is active and operational as
Yes,
before.
but
Ah,
commerce. I don't know how can I say commerce, but I'm afraid about the situation,
of
and
course.
my president is diseases, illness,
Yeah.
diseases
Hmm.
with coronavirus.
Yes.
Bolsonaro, did you read about this?
About the coronavirus, yes, I've read a lot of things about the
And
coronavirus.
about the Brazil.
And the situation in Brazil, yes, I've read about
My
that as well.
country isn't a good example about
Yeah.
the behavior
Hmm.
because our president doesn't respect the rules,
Yes, yes,
and
that's right.
they doesn't use mask. They
Masks.
said they
Did
said
you
masks.
pronounce that
They
word
said that
mask? Mask.
this disease is only a flu, like you got a flu.
Yes. You need to pronounce that word masks. So
Mask.
that's right.
Uh,
You're saying that they don't use masks.
but I don't go out without mask.
Of course, you're right, quite right.
And you,
So you shouldn't go out without masks. That's very important
and in your
to
country.
have a mask when you're going out. I quite agree with you. Very important indeed. Yes. So today is English joke humor, and let's have a look at the jokes that we were saying last time in our last lesson together. Oh, no, this is the first time we're doing English joke humor. Yes. So let me
What
tell you
is
about
joke humor? I don't know what is joke humor.
that's the lesson that you've chosen for today. That's the course that you've chosen for today's
Histories.
lesson, English joke humor. So uh, do you have any experience of English joke humor? Have you heard of English joke humor before? Do you know what's special about
No,
English joke
I
humor and the reason why it's so famous and well known throughout the world as being a very special, particular type of humor? Have you heard of that before, Vanilza?
no, teacher.
Or is this new for you?
I guess that I couldn't understand no joke in
Ah,
English.
right, so you don't know any jokes in English. Oh, well, I understand why you chose this lesson then.
I know only Bean, Mr. Bean,
Oh, Mr. Bean. Well, you see, you do know a little bit about
but
English
they
joke
don't
humor.
use the words.
Yes, that is a type of English joke humor, Mr. Bean. That's quite recent. Obviously, in the past, there's also been lots of other types of joke humor. For example, there's been Monty Python and John Cleese and Monty Python's Flying Circus. So these were older forms of English joke humor. So uh, if you don't know any English jokes, maybe you might know some other jokes from your country, for example. Which jokes do you know from your country, from Brazil, Vinilza?
Joke
Do you-
in my country.
Yes,
Joker, Joker,
yes, a joke from
a
Brazil.
person that
Yes.
in my country we have shows about joke on
Mhm.
Saturday night or during the week too.
Yes.
There are good speakers, joke
Hmm.
speakers. Can I say joke speakers?
Yes,
In
comedians,
my
people who
language,
tell
in my first
jokes.
language, in my first language, it's easy
Yes.
understand
Hmm.
the joke. But in English, I don't know. I never know when everybody is laughing.
When everybody's laughing, you don't understand why they're laughing. Is that right?
Why? I don't understand.
Okay.
Uh,
Well, it's good that you chose this lesson so that you
I
can.
thought that I chose the wrong subject
You thought
because
you. Yes.
do you have different kinds of courses? Yes.
Yes, I have about 6 different courses, about half a dozen different courses for business English, computer science English. This course, which is English joke humor, I have biblical English, I have informal tutoring, and I also have RLS and RPS, which is real life situations and role playing simulations. So there's quite a few
Everything
different
is difficult to
lessons.
me. Everything is hard to me
Oh, well, maybe easy for
because
you.
my level isn't so good to my
Hmm.
English level is lower than
Lower. The way to
lower
pronounce that word is lower. Hmm.
lower than I don't know what did you say what would you say about my English level
Well,
level
the teacher you had before, Shane, your previous teacher, he thought your English level was great because he said, "Thank you so much for a great lesson. You are a wonderful person to talk to, and your English level is great." So Shane considers that your English level is great. So that's very encouraging, and it's nearly um, sort of like at the middle level because you're intermediate, which is B1. So that's like 40% level, 2 out of 5, which is already nearly halfway. That's nearly at the midpoint.
yeah.
So that is quite good to have an
And
intermediate level.
what
Yes.
do you aconselhar. What can I do to improve my English?
Well, to improve your English, the best things to do would be to watch as many films in the original language of English. You see.
I watch only short films.
Okay, well, they can be short films as well. They
Because
can be short films as well. That's all right. They can be short or long, but it's important that the films are in the English language when you listen to them. And it's good to have subtitles as well in your own language, in Portuguese, so that you can understand in Portuguese with the subtitles the words that are difficult to understand when you're hearing them in English in the original version of the film. Now, you can also listen to the BBC News, the World Service. All of this will help you improve your English. And of course, you can speak to as many native level English speakers as possible, because that will give you more practice in both listening to and speaking English actively. So the more you practice, the better, Vinilza.
yes, I read BBC and only short films.
Mm-hmm.
I like to read ebooks,
Mm-hmm.
but short stories.
Yes, that's good as well. Anything that's English
I
is good.
talk to you, and I talk to you.
Yes, of course, and that's very useful as well. So the more the better, as much content and input that you can have in English is good, and that is always going to improve your English. So it's just a question of practicing as much as possible, and your English will improve more and more all the time, Vanilza.
Yes.
So you're doing well already. So you just need to continue what you're doing already, and your English will become better and better.
Yeah.
That's good. Excellent. So coming back to our lesson with English joke humor. So
where is the video? First, second, third, in Biblical English.
So that's what we did last time.
Matthew 3,
yes.
2.
That's what we did last time in the previous lesson. We did Biblical English.
Yeah, Go diet.
Mm-hmm.
I see. The Go diet, gain or lose diet.
Oh yes, that's what you see on my how would you say, on my YouTube profile page.
Did you lose weight? Did you lose weight?
Yes, I have lost some weight as well. Absolutely. And so I explain in the Goal Diet the different methods of weight loss, of how to lose weight. And
what
if you
is Goal Diet? Gold.
Well, you see, the Goal Diet is basically gain or lose diet. So you can either gain or lose weight with a Goal Diet. That is to say that if you have extra weight that you don't want or need because it's over the ideal weight for you, then you can lose that weight by following this diet, the slimming diet. But it's also a way of eating which enables you to gain weight if you are underweight, because some people are below the ideal weight for their height. And so with this same way of eating, because it's a good way of eating, which gives the right balance for your body, you can actually gain weight if you need to gain weight, you see, if you're underweight. So It just means it's a good way of digesting food, a good way of absorbing food and eliminating the waste food so that your body has exactly what it needs and it has exactly the right weight, the right balance, everything. So it's really what's best. So I can highly recommend this type of diet. So you can always watch that video if you like after our lesson. And
Okay.
so coming back to our English joke humor, so if would you like to, because the idea here is that we each tell jokes to each other, would you like to start with the first joke, or would you like me to tell you the first joke? What do you prefer, Vanilza?
Teacher, I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know?
Tell a joke in English. It's
Ah,
impossible
you
to
don't know
me.
any jokes in English. Okay. What about Brazilian jokes? Portuguese jokes, jokes in Portuguese. Do you know any Brazilian jokes? Jokes from your country in
But it's
Portuguese?
difficult to me.
It's
You
difficult for you.
can, you can,
Mhm.
uh, you can begin.
You'd like me to begin? Okay. Well, I'll start then. And to tell you about the different types of joke
Me,
humor in English.
please,
Yes.
easy.
Oh,
In
yes, of
English,
course.
easy.
Of course, I'll make it very easy for you. So, the first type of joke is a pun. Now, have you ever heard of a pun before? P-U-N. Have you heard of that before, Vanilza? What is a pun?
No, I
You don't
don't
know.
know.
You don't know what a pun is. Okay. It's also called a
What is
play on words. Have you ever heard of a play on words? Have you ever heard of that?
plain words?
Yes, a play on words. Have you ever heard of that type of joke?
It's an expression.
It's an expression, yes. A
I
play on
don't know.
words. You've never heard of that. Okay. So
No.
basically, it's when you have a word which sounds like another word in English. So two different words with two different spellings, but they sound the same sound. Now, obviously, when you're writing or reading this joke, then obviously, you know, there wouldn't be any confusion because you see that the spelling is different. But when you're listening to this joke and you're hearing it, because the word sounds the same, then obviously there can be confusion because one person can understand that word in one way, or the sound of that word in one way, and another person can understand how the word sounds in another way, because the two words sound the same, but they have different meaning and
Yeah.
different spelling. So I'll give you an
Yeah.
example of that. So this is the joke then. There are three deaf old ladies who meet for a walk in the countryside. And whilst they're going for their walk in the countryside, one of them sees some cows and she says, "Ooh, what a lovely bunch of cows." And then the second deaf old lady says, "No, no, not a bunch, a herd." You see? So, not a bunch, a herd. And so the other deaf old lady says, "Herd of what?" And the other deaf old lady says, "Herd of cows." "Of course, I've heard of cows," says the other deaf old lady. "No, no," says the other one. a cow herd. And finally, the deaf old lady says, well, so what? I don't care. I don't have any secrets I need to hide from a cow. So I don't know if you understand that joke at all.
No, teacher.
You don't understand that joke. Okay. So
I'm frustrated. Frustrated.
So I'll explain this joke to you.
Did you have this joke in like a text, right?
Well, this is a joke that I have in my head, so I've written it in the Skype chat for you.
Sorry.
Can you see in the Skype chat what I've written? Have a look what I've written in the Skype chat. You will understand the joke better in the Skype chat.
I understand there was 3 girls.
Yes, there's 3 deaf old ladies. Okay, that's right. They're deaf. That means they can't hear very well. Okay. And they're all going for a walk in this countryside. Okay.
Countryside is
the countryside.
Like a farm.
It means like a farm. It's not in the city center. It's not inside the city. It's not an urban area, but it's a rural area. It's where there are the fields, the nature, the trees, the countryside, you know. Like in a farm.
Volcano.
And there's sometimes there are volcanoes as well, and mountains and lakes and rivers, streams.
No canyon. Do you use the word canal?
Oh, canal. Well, canals tend to be in cities because they're man-made, whereas rivers and streams and brooks, they tend to be in the countryside.
Understood this.
Okay.
Until this part of the history.
So you understand that part. Now, for the joke with the cows, can you see what is the word which is the object of the pun? So the play on words, can you see which word is being used for the play on words?
Bunch.
The word. There's 2 words actually, which sound the same in this joke. If you look in the Skype chat, what I've written, you have herd, which is yes, herd, H-E-R-D. That is the name or the collective name for a group of cows. And there's also herd, H-E-A-R-D, which is the past participle of the verb to hear. You see? So
the first herd.
That's right. The first herd, I'll write it down for you just underneath the joke. So herd is the collective name for a group of cows, and herd, which is the past participle of the verb to hear when the verb to hear is in the past tense, you see. But both of these words sound the same, heard and heard, but they're spelled differently and they have 2 different meanings. So here in this joke, first of all, the first deaf old lady sees some cows and says, "Ooh, what a lovely bunch of cows." And then the second deaf old lady wants to correct the first deaf old lady by telling her that the correct way to call a group of cows is not saying a bunch of cows, but rather they should be called a herd of cows. You see? And so that's what she says. No, a herd of cows. And so the third one, when she hears herd of cows, well, she hears herd of, but as she can't hear very well, she didn't hear the word cows. So she asked the question, herd of what? That is to say, have I heard of what? Now you understand that part of the joke. That's good. You see, with these jokes of English humor, because they're not easy to understand, usually the reaction of people the first time they hear the joke is, because they haven't understood the joke. And then afterwards, because the joke, the explanation of the joke is sometimes more complicated than the actual joke itself, then after the explanation of the joke, the reaction of the person is, You see, they're even more confused than before they heard the explanation of the joke. So when they hear the joke, it's like, and when they hear the explanation of the joke, it's like, They're much more confused after hearing the explanation than before, because obviously when you explain the joke, sometimes you lose the meaning of the joke and the sense of the joke in the explanation, you see. So it's good that you've understood this first part of the joke. And then in answer to the question, heard of what? It's like saying, have I heard of what? The other deaf old lady says, heard of cows, saying that that is what she was talking about, heard of cows. Now, the other one who asked the question, heard of what? Like, have I heard of what? She says, well, of course I've heard of cows. I mean, it's like, you know, cows is not something exceptional, unusual. Everybody's heard of cows. And so she says, of course I've heard of cows. You know, what's special about cows? Yes, it's not something that's unknown or unusual or unheard of. And then the other one, realizing that she hasn't understood what she was saying, instead of saying heard of cows, she turns the expression the other way around and says, no, a cow herd. Because you can either say that one way, like herd of cows, or you can turn it around the other way and say a cow herd, because it means the same thing if you say a herd of cows or a cow herd. It's exactly, yes, it's exactly the same thing.
Adjective.
That's right. Either you say it's a cow herd, describing the type of herd, it means it's a herd with cows in it, or you can say it's a herd of cows. So it's a herd, once again, with cows in it. So when she says no, a cow herd, the last deaf old lady says, well, so what? I don't care. I don't have any secrets I need to hide from a cow. So she's saying, well, you know, so what? I mean, what does it matter if a cow heard, if a cow was listening to our conversation and heard what we were saying? I mean, the last deaf old lady says that she doesn't really care, even if the cow did hear what was being said, because she didn't have any secrets that she felt that she needed to hide from a cow. That is to say, even if the cow did hear any of her secrets, well, the cow doesn't matter really, because the cow wasn't exactly going to repeat those secrets to anybody else, because all the cow can say is moo, moo, moo. I mean, that's all the cow can say. So the cow isn't exactly going to repeat the woman's secrets to anybody else. So the secrets are safe with the cow. So that's why she doesn't mind if the cow heard or was listening and to what was being said. So she says, well, doesn't matter to me. I don't care. So what? You know, the cow can listen to what I'm saying and to what we're saying. The cow's not going to repeat anything that we're saying. So we are safe. Our secrets are safe with the cow. They're not going to go any further. The cow's not going to tell anybody.
Yes.
You understand the joke, Vanilza?
Yeah. Now, yes. After a long time.
After a long time, that's right. After a long explanation, it's like, when you tell the joke, it's like, And when you explain the joke, it's like, The person's even more confused.
So prepare because
Yes.
you always answer like moo.
That's how the cow speaks. Moo, 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 moo. That's the language of the cow.
Yeah.
Okay, so now it's your turn to tell me a joke, Vanilza. An English joke. If you know any English jokes or Brazilian jokes or Portuguese jokes, any joke you like, you can tell me.
In English, Portuguese to English.
Which
I need to
jokes?
translate.
Yes, you can translate if you like. Because my Portuguese isn't all that good. All I can say in Portuguese is obrigado. Oh, I can also say bacalhau. That is my survival kit when I'm in any Portuguese-speaking countries like Portugal, Brazil, Angola. Then if I'm hungry, I just say bacalhau. And then they give me some bacalhau. And then when I say obrigado, after they've given me the bacalhau, then they see that I like the bacalhau because I've said obrigado, I've said thank you. And so they give me some more bacalhau. And I say obrigado again, and they give me even more bacalhau. So I can never go hungry in Portugal or Brazil or Angola because that is my survival kit. Just 2 words, bacalhau and obrigado. And with those 2 words, yes, I will never be hungry in any Portuguese-speaking country. Isn't that wonderful, Vanilza?
Yeah.
It's my kit for survival. 2 words, just 2 words, and it's my survival kit. That's right. Obrigado and bacalhau.
No hunger.
I'll never go hungry in any Portuguese country. I will always be able to eat and have food and be well fed in all of the Portuguese-speaking countries all over the world. Isn't that wonderful?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so I'm listening. Yes?
I didn't remember no joke. I never.
You don't remember any jokes? Any Portuguese jokes or
I never tell
jokes? You don't tell jokes? Oh, Vanilza.
I only listen.
You're only listening, but you don't remember them, so you can't repeat them. You forgot.
I had a book.
Oh, you had a book of jokes. That's good.
Yes, but isn't with me now. With me now. The next class.
Yes, you can look for it for the next class. Well, that's all right. Not to worry for this time. I can tell the jokes for this class.
I will try translate it to English, and I will tell.
That's wonderful. That's excellent, Vanilza. I'm very much looking forward to that for the next class.
No problem.
For the next class, then you can tell all the jokes, and for this class, I'll tell all the jokes. Is that all right? Is that good? Okay. Wonderful, Vanilza. So the next type of joke after the a pun or play on words, as it's called, is the knock-knock joke. Have you ever heard of the knock-knock jokes?
Knock? No, yes. Knock. It's like a beat.
When somebody's knocking on the door, when they're going...
Yeah.
When they're knocking on the door.
Yes.
And yes. And this is an interactive joke. It's good fun because you participate in this joke. So you also have things to say, you see. So we have audience participation, which is good. It's an interactive joke. So I start off the joke by saying, knock, knock. Okay?
Oh, knock, knock.
That's right. That's how I start the joke. Now, to continue the joke, you need to say, who's there? That is to say, who is there? You ask, who is there knocking at the door? So I say, knock, knock, and you say, who's there? Who is there?
Yes. Who's that?
That's right. And then I answer you, Isabel. Okay?
Okay.
So now you know that it's Isabel at the door, but maybe you know half a dozen different Isabels, lots of different Isabels, and you don't know which one it is out of all the Isabels that you know. So you want more information. So you ask the question now, Isabel who? Okay, it's like saying which Isabel?
Sorry, but I was with the YouTube.
Okay.
Now I return it to you. Now that I am I am seeing. Can I say I am seeing you?
Yes, you're seeing me. Yes, you're seeing me. That's right. So
you're writing here.
Yes. Oh, you want me to write the joke? Okay, so I say knock knock first of all.
I didn't read it. What did you?
Okay, I'll write it down for the joke. Knock knock, and then you say who's there. There we are. So that's what you say, and then I say Isabel, and then you say Isabel who, because you want to know which Isabel it is out of all the many Isabels that you know. And so you say now Isabel who. Okay? Can you say Isabel who? Can you say that?
Yes.
I'm listening to you. Say Isabel who?
Isabel who?
That's right. And then I say Isabel necessary on a bicycle.
Bicycle.
Yes.
Isabel necessary on a bicycle.
Yes. So do you understand the joke?
No.
No.
Necessary on a bicycle is bike.
Yeah, that's right. I know it's a little bit difficult with the English jokes. It's difficult to understand. So I'll explain it by writing it in a different way. Isabel necessary on a bicycle. Like that. Do you see what I mean? Is a bell necessary on a bicycle?
Yeah. Is a bell necessary on a bicycle?
Because you know that at night, if you're riding a bicycle at night, then lights are necessary on the bicycle.
I know, a bell.
And the bell is like ding-a-ling-a-ling, ding, ding, ding,
yes,
ding, 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 ding.
Yes.
It's, you know, if somebody's in the way, then you can signal to them to move out of the way so they're not run over or knocked down by the bicycle. And so the question is
the name sound like
that's right. You've understood it. Oh, well done, Vanilza. Brilliant. Oh, congratulations. Yes, you're doing very well. Oh, you're ever so good at this. Oh, excellent. Yes, very good. Well, that is the joke, you see. It's the same name, Isabel, like when you're asking the question, is a bell? And then the second part of the name, necessary on a bicycle, is actually like the continuation of the question, necessary on a bicycle. So it's a funny name. It's a name which is like a question. I'm glad you like that. That's great. So there are other types of jokes in English joke humor. For example, there are Irish jokes. Have you ever heard of an Irish joke?
Yes, I traveled to Dublin.
Right.
2 years ago, about 2 years.
You went to Dublin, but you know that it's because of Dublin that Ireland is the richest country in the world. And you know why Ireland is the richest country in the world, Vanilza? Oh yes, Ireland is the richest country in the world. Do you know why?
Which is about wealth.
Yes, wealth. It's because of its capital, you see. The capital of Ireland is Dublin, you see.
They have a sad history.
Oh,
Uh,
yes, that's true. But now,
and the richest
the richest
country.
country in the world, and it's because of their capital, you know, because their capital is always Dublin. You went to Dublin, and that's the richest country in the world because of the capital, because the capital is always Dublin. So the capital, okay, of Ireland is always Dublin.
Dublin.
Dublin, yes. The capital of Ireland is always Dublin. Do you see? I've written it for you. So if the capital is always doubling, it's always Dublin. So it's always double, double, double because it's always doubling. And so, for example, if the capital is like 1 billion today, tomorrow it'll be 2 billion because it's doubling all the time, you see. And if tomorrow it's 2 billion, or two, yes, the day after tomorrow it'll be 4 billion. It'll be doubling again. It'll be doubling. It'll be always double, you see. And the day after that, it'll be 2 times 4, double 4, which is 8. It'll be 8 billion. And then the day after that, it'll be 2 8, which is 16 billion. And then 32 billion, 64 billion, 128 billion, 256 billion, 512 billion, 1024 billion, 2048 billion. You see what I mean? So, if you go to 1048 billion, that's already more than a trillion, you see. So in just a few days, it goes from billions to trillion. Capital. You know what capital is? Assets. Capital assets. Capital assets. The capital is the money, the finance, the richness, you know, the capital.
Yes.
It's actually a play on words on the word capital, because capital can be the main city of a country and capital can be a capital investment, you see?
Yeah.
It's your capital, it's your wealth, the richness.
I understood this joke.
You like the joke? You like it, Vanessa?
Yeah.
It's a good joke, yes? I'm pleased you like it.
Simple and
very simple. Very.
Yeah.
I'm glad you like it. That's good. Now, you see, Irish jokes normally, they're not told by the Irish, but they're told by the British, who make fun of the Irish, just like the French make fun of the Belgians, because the French tell Belgian jokes, because Belgium is a little country next to France, just like Ireland is a little country next to the UK. And so a typical Irish joke would be, how do you confuse an Irish person? How do you put an Irish person in a state of confusion? How do you make an Irish person confused? Confused. You know what confusion is?
Yeah, but why?
Well, because the British like to confuse the Irish. They like to make the Irish confused. It's a sport they have, a game. You know, they like to make things confusing for the Irish. They enjoy doing that. You see,
make the things confused to the Irish.
They like to make the Irish confused so that the Irish they don't know what to do. You see, and so the way to do this, I'll explain to you how to do this. You tell an Irish person to go into a round room. Okay. A round room. Yes, you ask the Irish person to go into a round room, and then you tell them to sit in the corner. You ask them to sit
in the corner.
In the corner. Yes, in the corner. Yes, in the corner of the round room. And then the Irish person will be very confused. Do you know
Why?
why? Well, how many corners are there in a round room, Vanilza? Do you know?
Four.
Well, four corners
Four.
in a round room? Well, I mean, a corner is where two walls meet together at a right angle, but in a round room, there's no right angles. So the walls don't meet in the shape of a corner in a round room because there are no right angles. So there are actually no corners in a round room because the room is completely round, you see? There are no corners. So when the Irishman wants to sit down, or the Irish woman, the Irish person wants to sit down, they can't sit down because, well, there's no corner for them to sit down because they've been asked to sit in the corner. But because there isn't a corner for them to sit down in, well, they can't sit down. And they're very confused because they don't know what to do because they can't find a corner to sit down in because there's no corners in a round room. But you've told them to sit in the corner. So they're in a state of confusion, you see. They're very confused. They don't know what to do.
Teacher, it is like the Irish aren't so intelligent than Britain.
Well, that's what the British tend to think. They think that the Irish are a little bit less intelligent than they are. So the British think they're a little bit more intelligent than the Irish. And so that's why they have lots of jokes showing a certain
against the Irish.
Yes, to show the level of intelligence of the Irish. And so they have lots of jokes like that on how to confuse the Irish, how to make the Irish confused, you know, to put the Irish in a state of confusion.
Yeah. It's a joke, but prejudice joke.
Sorry, what did you say?
Prejudice joke.
Oh yes, of course. I mean,
Yeah.
but there is a lot of prejudice between the British and the Irish, just like there's a lot of prejudice between the French and the Belgians, you see. And
Yes.
so, yes, it is a prejudice joke.
In my country, is about Portuguese and Brazilian.
Yes. Oh, it's between the Portuguese and the Brazilians. That's interesting.
Yes. We are colonia. I don't know in English, colonia of Portugal.
Yes.
Portugal colonizou. In English, I don't know
colonization.
Colonization.
Yes.
Colonization is, and they in my country the jokes about Portuguese is like the Portuguese isn't intelligent.
Right. You see, we have the same kind of things between the big countries like Brazil and the slightly smaller countries like Portugal and like France, which is a big country compared to Belgium, which is a small country, and the UK, which is a big country compared to Ireland, which is a smaller country. Yes, so it's often like that. Yes. But it's also usually the big countries that make jokes about the little countries because the little countries, because they're small, they don't dare make jokes about the big countries because they think the big countries, because they're much more powerful, they're afraid of making jokes about the big countries, so they don't have any trouble with the big countries. But the big countries know that the small countries will not be able to do anything because they're smaller and less powerful. So they're not afraid of the small countries. So that's why they tend to make jokes about the small countries because they know the small countries cannot do anything against them.
Yes, it's true.
Yes, that's the way it is. So
okay,
we've
good.
Yes.
I thought that I wouldn't understand nothing, but I understood.
That's wonderful. That's great. I'm really pleased that you've understood my jokes, Vanilza. So
thank you.
Yes, you're ever so welcome, Vanilza, with the greatest of pleasure. I'm really pleased that you've enjoyed this lesson as much as I have. So remember, for your homework for next time, you can prepare some jokes from your joke book as soon as you find it, and you can translate those jokes from Portuguese into English, so that you will have a lot of jokes that you could tell me during the next lesson. And I have another piece of homework that I can give you, and it's about shaggy dog stories. Have you heard of shaggy dog story jokes, Vanilza?
No.
So I'll send you a link to some shaggy dog story jokes. Okay, so a shaggy dog story joke is a joke which is a very particular type of joke, very special, which you can only find in British humor. So I've never, yes, it's typically British, typically English. I don't think you can find that anywhere else, because I've had lots of students all around the world who've done my English joke humor lessons, who have followed these lessons, and I've asked them, do you have a type of joke, like a shaggy dog story joke in your country? And they said, no, we've never heard of these jokes before. So they say that these jokes don't exist in their country, in their language. So this is typically British, 100% English. And so you'll be able to read what it says in the link I sent you.
There are many jokes here.
Many jokes, yes. Yes, you can read as many as you like.
Now I saved it here.
Right. There's lots of jokes in the link I sent you. So you can read those, and so you will know what shaggy dog story jokes are like. And next time, because they're quite long, these jokes, that's one of the features, then we can read them together in our next lesson and talk about them after you've read them and prepared them for your homework. Is that all right, Vanilza? Yes? That's good. Excellent.
Right.
So thank you very much for the lesson, Vanilza.
Bye-bye.
All the best for you. Take care. Keep well. You're ever so welcome. May the Lord continue blessing you ever so abundantly too. In Jesus' name, amen. Speak to you next time.
Amen.
Thanks a lot. Take care. Cheers. Bye-bye. See you.